keyless. Okay, think I'm going to enjoy fiddling with that. Wait, there we go. Whoa, it baffles the mind. In today's episode, I'm going to be doing a comparison piece. On my left, a Porsche Macan, and on my right, a Range Rover Evoque, two used mid-sized SUVs. I'm going to be comparing these on price, practicality and space, exterior look, interior quality. I'm going to take them both out for a road test to find out which one drives the best, and by the end of the episode, I'm going to let you know which one is the better purchase. Now the Macan is very sophisticated and sleek. There's no harsh contour lines or swag line down the side of the car. It relies on majestic form, and it does that very well. Nice curves. We've got 18-inch alloys here, which will be interesting to see how that affects the comfort and the ride of the vehicle. And then over, I actually really like the grille on the Macan. Where the Macan is subtle and sleek, this is a little bit more boxy and quadratic. You've got some harsher lines, some harsher angles. Round the side of the car, it's got bigger wheels as well, 20-inch wheels there. And if we're looking at the rear of the car, although the Evoque has got a bit of a beefier spoiler, I prefer the look and the rear taillights of the Macan. So looks wise, I think the Macan just takes it. So I've just jumped into the Porsche Macan, and what is this? I have to actually physically insert the key in to get this car turned on. No keyless. Okay, right, let's have a look. Loads of leather around. You can tell it's a Porsche, that you're in a Porsche. The seats feel comfy, the bolsters are good. It's in good condition. There's no scuffs. Very busy center console, loads of buttons here. Infotainment looks clean and clear. Few little metallic inlays here, brushed aluminium. It's going to be interesting to see how the Range Rover Evoque compares to the Macan. Inside, seats are comfier, headroom very similar. Materials look great. I love this metallic element here, this pattern. Really soft and comfy material here on the side of the door. And it is impeccable inside. I can't see any scuffs or scratches. Center console, brilliant. A lot less busy than the Macan, and the gear selector I love. Look at this, watch this pop up. I love that, and I think I'm going to enjoy fiddling with that more than the gear lever in there. Infotainment wise, it's not as good as the Macan, but one thing I will say is the cameras on this Evoque just don't cut the mustard. They are a bit fuzzy, a bit hazy, whereas the Macan are a lot crisper. Right, let's jump in the rear seats and compare which is better. I've got a little bit of knee room, it's not too bad, and actually I've got a lot more headroom than I have in the driver's seat, and I'm greeted with this gorgeous sunroof just letting oodles of light into the back seat. So actually it's not too bad in here. Seats are comfy, again good condition. Few scuff marks on the back of the seats, but that's it. Right, I'm going to jump into the Macan now and compare what the rear seats are like in that. Straight away, I feel similar legroom. Headroom wise, you can see is a little bit less in this. With that sunroof, I have more headroom in the Evoque, and with the Evoque, I think I'm a little bit more upright, whereas this, I can actually lean back just a little bit more. It's got a couple of heated seats in here as well, panoramic sunroof, but I think I'd probably be more comfortable in the Evoque, in the rear seats there. One thing I love about SUVs is boot space. So let's compare the boot space from the Evoque to the Macan. Evoque first, over here we have 472 litres of boot space. And the one thing I do like about the Evoque is that it's pretty flush. So you can just push things straight over this scratch plate into the back of the car. Let's have a look at the Macan. 500 litres of boot space here, and you can see actually it's a lot bigger. You're going to get a lot more things in there, but there is a little bit of a drop, which can be sometimes a bit awkward putting things in there like luggage when you just want to slide them in. A little bit of space under there as well, and actually if we come back to the Evoque, just want to show you it's got a little bit of space in there, but I think we can both agree the Macan takes it on this one. Right, so I've jumped into the Porsche Macan 2-litre petrol. A brand new one is going to cost you £47,000, and this is up for £31,480. So you're looking at around £16,000 difference there if you want to go from this used one to a new one. So far, I've been driving it and it's been pretty comfortable, going over a few potholes, lumps and bumps, nothing too dramatic, very easy ride. Porsche say 39 miles per gallon for the Macan. Really, that's probably not the case. We'll see what we get later on the trip. We've got a sport button, so if I press that, everything now will become a little bit sporty. I'll get longer revs through those rev ranges, changing later, and a little bit better throttle response. So now when I put my foot down, there we go, that's more like it. That's more like it. We feel that pull. We can feel that it's a good bit of cornering there. So it's good, it's precise, steering's very direct, and the steering wheel feels quite thin. If my mind serves me correctly, the Evoque was a little bit more chunky, but I like it. And this is very good fun, just throwing it in and out of these corners. And the Macan handles them with ease. The steering's great, it's so direct, and it just pulls in. I like it. I'm enjoying myself in this Macan. So Porsche say that this Macan 2-litre petrol can do 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds. Might not be the quickest, but it definitely feels like it's got some pull. Compared to the Evoque, I believe that 2-litre diesel is 9 seconds, so this is definitely going to give you a little bit more oomph from a 0 to 60. Also, this car has 246 brake horsepower, a little bit different to that of the Evoque. So when purchasing an SUV, one of the things that you probably look at, or definitely what I do, is what is it like to park, like the maneuverability of the car. Bigger SUVs are harder, you need cameras and so forth. So I'm going to try and park this Macan and see what it's like. So let's come out here. Steering is good, brakes are good, solid. Let's chuck it into reverse. Check out the cameras. Cameras are good. The cameras are very crisp and clear on this. It's definitely, especially compared to the fuzziness of the Evoque. Right, I'm going to stick it in there, nice and easy. Both in the lines. And you know what? Bit of a beep from the parking sensor, but very simple, very easy. The Macan is a cinch to park. Right, my time with the Macan has come to an end. Let's check out the tripometer. Average consumption of 27.7 miles per gallon, a little bit different from what Porsche say. And I'm going to jump in the Evoque and see exactly just how it compares to this Macan. Okay, now it's my turn in the Land Rover Evoque 2015. This is a HSE dynamic model. It's a 2-litre diesel. So we're going to drive it up here and we're going to give it a little blast, see what it's like. 0 to 60, they say 9 seconds. So let's see what that's like. Again, it's a little bit higher than the Macan, but the Macan is wider and about 323 millimeters longer in length. But it doesn't feel that way at the moment. Inside though of this Evoque, it is less busy. Around the center console, the gear lever changer circular disc thing is so much fun. I love that. It's such a quirky feature, and I actually think they've got rid of it. They've got rid of it now with the newer models. Bring it back, I say, because that is great fun. Just giving it a little quirky turn. I rather like it. So Land Rover say that this can do 55 miles per gallon, a little bit different than the Macan's 2-litre petrol 39 mpg. But at the end, we'll have a little look at the tripometer and see what we're averaging. Right, onto some country roads then. Let's see what the Evoque is like. It's a little bit of a pull. Ooh, okay, yeah, it definitely hasn't got as much pull as the Macan, and it definitely does feel a bit 9 seconds and more 0 to 60. It feels a bit sluggish. Obviously it's a hard comparison because that Macan's a 2-litre petrol, this is a 2-litre diesel. It feels firmer as well in the suspension. It feels a a lot bumpier. We went through the same potholes that we did with the Macan, and the Land Rover Evoque done the same, and it wasn't as smooth as the Macan. Let's check out its handling. So we've got a little bit of a left coming up here. Brakes are good, brakes are good. We've got a little bit of body roll. Whoa, that suspension definitely is not as smooth. These are the same corners that we've been through with the Macan, and we hit like a little bit of a bump, and this thing was just feeling, it just feels a bit weighty. For a more compact, smaller SUV than the Macan with its dimensions in length and width, this feels not as agile and feels bigger, even though it isn't. It baffles the mind. So I'm driving this Evoque and I'm immediately thinking, I'm doing the same roads, I'm doing exactly the same corners, and feeling the suspension, feeling the handling of the car. And the Evoque is good, the handling is direct, but it does feel a bit, everything feels a little bit stiffer and a little bit more effort than the Macan. The Macan seems to just be a little bit more agile, and the same with the auto gearbox. This just doesn't, it's not there. It's not the same level. That PDK 7-speed auto is just honey. It's really smooth. So at the moment, the Macan is kind of more fun. Right, I'm here in the same spot. Time for the parking challenge. Again, when buying an SUV, they're all big, aren't they? So, well, this is actually quite small, but it's very interesting to see the maneuverability. That's a word, isn't it? Maneuverability? Yeah. So anyway, let's stick it, reverse it into a bay, check out the camera. I spoke a little bit about the camera before, but I do love the gear changer here to put it in reverse. The camera isn't great. I don't know if we can show you a shot of that camera now. We've got the yellow lines, but it's just not comparable to the Macan because it's clear and crisp. But this is just foggy. The whole car is a little bit sort of big and bulky and a lot more chunky. Again, it's not too bad. I'm in the lines. Am I going to get a beep? There you go, a little beep there. So again, very simple and easy to move, but just not as, there we go, just not as smooth as the Macan. Okay, I'm on my way back to Jardines now to decide and give you a verdict. I have had fun in this Evoque, it is fun, and don't forget, it's £6,500 cheaper as well. And because it's a HSE dynamic, you get the nicer interior. These materials here that I spoke about earlier are fantastic, they're exquisite, they really make the interior feel that little bit more plush. And I love how it's not so busy down here compared to the Macan, and I love that gear shifter. It's just so cool, having a little cog that jumps out and you can turn and move. It's just so smooth. Trip is what I've been told to talk about. We've got 25 miles per gallon, so a little bit different than the 55 miles per gallon, but I have had a little bit of a blast in it as well. I am back. I'm going to jump out the car and tell you my verdict. Right, so it's time for my verdict. The Porsche Macan or the Range Rover Evoque. Now, remember, I'm going to be saving £6,500 if I go with the Evoque. Also, 55 miles per gallon, it's going to get a better economy in this car. But I think I'm not going to go with the Evoque. Although it was fun and it's practical, it has a space element, I'm going to choose the Macan. That was hands down more fun than this car. That gearbox, bigger space, and not only that, bigger car, but actually feels smaller, more agile and more nimble. 2 litre petrol, 2 litre diesel, so some may say, you can't really compare, but we did compare them today. I'm choosing the Macan. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below. Throw me a like, and if you want to find out more about these cars, head over to Jardine Select. Link will be in the description below. Get subbed, and I'll see you on the next one.